Hello everybody, how are you today? Blessings of Beltane be upon you for those in the Northern Hemisphere. And for those in the Southern Hemisphere, you will be entering Samhain. So the end of the year, one of the harvest festivals, you may still be harvesting. But here in the Northern Hemisphere, we are waking up into a light spring, although it hasn't been very bright where I am. So today I went for a little Beltane walk. I took our little Woodland healer, you may remember her from a video I did by a running brook. She guides over our healing today, but she is also going to represent you. So we're going to use her for our little proxy healing, for a distant healing for you, but she will also represent you thinking of your own solutions, your own projects, your own energy, reviving your energy with these woodland plants. Now, it has been a very dull and grey spring here in the UK, and they actually said that on the news, the dullest spring since records have begun. So there was not as much out as I hoped, but I managed to select some beautiful plants here. And the central feature of our healing today is going to be these here. And this leaf. This is called the cuckoo's pint, and I'm just going to read the Latin name to you, which is called Arum maculatum. The Celtic name for this is Klaus Coin, and this grows abundantly in Britain, in the shady places. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I want you just to settle down. I want you to relax. And I want you to imagine your roots growing out of your body. I'm going to run this, and I can't see the screen, so do forgive me if I'm not in the middle. We'll just run this wand of all of the Ogham, representing all of the trees of the earth, down you. And I want you just to imagine your own roots growing out of your body, down and down, rooting into the woodland floor, bringing all of this magic, vitality into you. And if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you're going to be sort of doing the reverse. You're going to be winding down for the winter. So imagine your roots growing all the way down, down into the ground, rooting into the trees and the plants around us, but also into the crystal and the minerals of the earth. And we're going to use this bumblebee jasper. I'm just going to draw a chokore, which is a universal Reiki symbol, into you. And then I'm also going to draw the plants, the trees, the Ogham that we have here. I'm going to draw the hawthorn west. And we'll run the hawthorn down you. I'm also going to run through your aura the gorse. We'll draw that into you now. One. And we're also going to draw the elder, the witch's tree, and I could only find a couple of tiny bits. Spring is not moved on as quick as we would hope. So the rish. Let's just run this bumblebee jasper down, just sealing in those ogham. And then we will activate that with the Utri symbol of distant healing. Okay. And now we'll just draw those symbols into our little woodland healer. I'm going to draw them all on one stave. So we have the whaith, hawthorn, we have the un, the gorse, and we have the the rish. Well, I'll draw strife as well because I said it. So if any of you are going through difficulties, the strife, the blackthorn will help and walk the way with you. So let's do some clearing now. I'm going to use this as a pendulum just to clear whatever is troubling you at the moment, any lethargy, any tiredness, any anger, any worry, any hate, disquiet, agitation, depression. Pendulum I am using is oak. We're just going to spin it out of you. And you'll notice our woodland healer is lying on the cuckoo's pint. Ooh, she's just fallen off a little bit. She's resting, getting comfortable. Because cuckoo's pint is going to be the main plant in our healing today. I will talk about the others. But as we're clearing, the rish and the blackthorn would have helped with that, too, with this oak. We see that she is lying between offerings, which I'm going to activate in a minute. Water from the Glastonbury Chalice Red Well, and fire, which we'll light in a second. The pendulum slowing down now. A lot of clearing for you all. You're all going through some stuff at the moment. Okay, and that is now happy. We'll put that down there, and I'm just going to get myself comfortable. Okay. So I want you to imagine now, you've already grounded. I would like you to imagine a beam of sunlight illuminating you, activating, going right down into your heart, all the way down to your feet, And then at your feet, a circle is drawn around you, both ways, so that you are entirely surrounded. Beam of yellow sunlight, energy, and the quartz to activate it. Just imagine that around you and protecting you as we now light our candle. To symbolize the sun and the spring days. Set your intentions as you look at this candle. Waft it into yourself, a blessing. Setting your intentions clearly and concisely. Still sowing our seeds from the equinox, it is still the growing season. Blessing of the light and a blessing of water. And Beltane is about uniting masculine and feminine energies within yourself. That is what the Druids wished to do, so that there would be no separation, union with everything, masculine, feminine, androgynous, non-binary, whatever. It is about fertility, and in the old days it was all about procreation, but now, as we have more choices, we can choose to do our projects. We have more free time to enjoy rather than sowing, tilling the land and harvesting. We have the time to work these magic. We have the time to work on ourselves. So at this time, work for yourself. Set your goals, and you have half a year to harvest them in even quicker. Let's have a look at this cuckoo's pint. I'm going to show you its form. This is how it grows out of the ground. The leaves appear first, and some of them will have black spots and them will brown spots as well. Beautiful heart-shaped, almost ivy leaf. Let's brush that down you. Now these plants are part of the arum lilies. They grow in shady places and they are toxic. They hold the same toxic chemical that wood sorrel also has, obviously in smaller quantities. And this can create union, creativity and harmony, but on the flip side, this plant creates disharmony and has toxicity and an inability to connect. If that sounds like you, this healing would definitely be for you, and for the others we can just use this as interest. This flower has hundreds of names in the United Kingdom. I'm just reading from a book here. I'm going to give a shout out to our last chief druid, our chosen chief, Philip Cargom, and his wife Stephanie, and this is the Druid Plant Oracle, excellent for those doing Celtic Reiki courses. And the cuckoo's pint grows in shady spots, particularly in hedgerows. It contains and starts off with a stem called a spadix. That's what I just showed you in this form. Okay. It is also thought of as a blade and symbolises on one level the union between man and woman, but in a deeper level the goal of the druid and spiritual seekers to unify masculine and feminine aspects of the psyche. A mystical marriage, if you will. There's a time of profound harmony when this is growing and the stamen is wobbling around all over the place, so I'll just hold it there. It is a time of harmony and creativity, and you can work on, imagination, imagine and empathizing with your opposite sex. Perhaps spend a day thinking from a man's perspective if you can, or from a woman's perspective. See what the other sex suffers, because we all do, don't we? And this plant can help with this. So let's imagine our little woodland healer here lying, this is you, lying in this beautiful, beautiful arum lily. This was also called adder root because they did believe, I think, in about the 5th century that this could cure adder bites. And the Druids were also known as adders. And the festival of Beltane is particularly associated with the cuckoo's pint. Around the late summer and autumn, there will be red orange berries on here, and they are very poisonous. The first thing I was taught was not to eat those berries. So let's just imagine you lying in this, cleansing out that disharmony, cleansing out the anger, cleansing out the infertility. And as a gardener in the UK, this plant is our nightmare. It spreads in 3 different ways. It sends tubers out from its roots. And it also, the insects crawl, and when this flowers, the pollen sticks to them. In fact, the pollen is all the way down the flower. I don't know if you can see that. If we look right in, the stamens are in the flower, so the insects will have to climb down, soak in it, and then crawl out and spread the pollen that way. And also perhaps the breeze can spread the pollen. So it is pretty much sorted its fertility out on each level. We send the magic of this plant now into you for your fertility. I'm imagining looking at a nice little clump that I found, which were actually growing through leaf mulch. There was beech leaves caught in a little hollow underneath a hedgerow. And this lily was growing out of it. And as I looked at it, I thought it's a bit like a phoenix rising out of the ashes. Out of somebody's rubbish comes treasure. So out of your rubbish, out of your discarded bits of projects, can you salvage anything? Can you reuse it? Can you change your emotions so that instead of channeling out hate or ambiguity or anything like that, can you channel that and change it into something positive to say to someone? I too am guilty of this at the moment. I can't stop putting negative comments on other people's negative comments, and I've put them on and then I've deleted them. So I am guilty of this as much as the next person. Take a breath in. Let's use our little cleanse those negative thoughts out, those blockages. I can't do this, I haven't got time, all of those excuses. Oh, I need to get into my kit to go for a run. Whatever it is, those excuses you are making, let the oak cleanse that out of you, all the way down. So even though this plant is known as a poison in Druidry, poison is a natural phenomenon. It has a place in the scheme of things. That is the same with all chemicals, isn't it? Okay. We're going to just draw in the juez, the un, and the elder, the rish. And then I think we're just going to pick up a load of plants and brush our little woodland healer, who is acting as you. First of all, we have the pilgrim's tree, the pilgrim's bush, the wayfarer's tree, and this would have been out when the pilgrims journeyed in early spring to the great churches and the abbeys and the cathedrals. And if you are here and you are working on your spirituality, you too are a pilgrim of such. So this is a viburnum, and it smells absolutely beautiful. So just brushing that down you. We have fern. And ferns have life force, sensuality and fertility. Couple of different ferns here. And they hold their seeds on the underside. So very fertile because they've just got to drop them. So we brush that down. A little woodland healer. She has her primrose on from Imbolc, and she has her air lichen from Equinox. And we will dress her with some flowers from this as well. So bringing that fertility in from the ferns. We bring in the energy of the blackberries that are growing now, the muin, brushing that down you and our healer. Think of the promise of the sweet and very excellent vitamin. I think they're superfruits, aren't they? The blackberries that will come in the September period. At the first harvest festival, we ask the sun to shine brightly and to bring abundance from the moon. We have the elder, we have the witch's tree, master symbol in Celtic Reiki. Making an elderflower cordial as well as champagne and berries for other goodies in the autumn. The witch's tree, the power behind a lot of these magical workings us druids and witches do. We have the celandine, gentle celandine, perhaps showing us the secrets that appear out of the earth only for a few weeks before shrinking back and dying down. What are you missing? What have you forgotten? What secrets are going to be shown to you? And if you're feeling tired, the energy of the gorse with the fragrance of Hawaiian tropic sunflower oil, that is exactly that smell it evokes within me. Growing up in a tropical island, my mother smothered me in it. And this brings vitality and energy. It is an Irish ogham, and there is always a gorse flower out. I have to say it is my favourite Celtic Reiki symbol. So bringing the vitality, the protection from these thorns, and as the twigs get older and harder, so do these get longer and thicker. The joy of a daffodil. Who doesn't like the daffodils? The narcissi. The promise of spring and of sunny days with its own sunny and happy face. I was very lucky to be able to even reach the tree where this was growing. This is horse chestnut. It smells absolutely divine. Used to feed horses, but also to play games with, so to bring fun into you. Seek out a child and play with it. Have a little go, shoot some hoops. Don't ignore your children or your nieces and nephews and your cousins. If a child asks you to play over the next few weeks, go and give them some attention. It is a special time and it is gone all too quickly. Sending you that sweet floral fragrance, and let's just look at these shapes. We call these candle trees in England. Some of them are going to be a deep cerise pink and others will be this. I found a wild apple whilst I was out, and so we bring the energy of Quert, another ogham, a tree that likes to grow close to humans. It enjoys our laughter, it spreads joy, gives us healing, and of course in another 6 months these flowers will have turned into the fruits. And the priestesses from Avalon, where the water is from, would have done an apple healing, a cleanse. they would only eat and drink apple juice for about 3 days. We have wild garlic, but this is called wild leek. We can eat these, every little bit of it. I put the flowers in my salads at this time of year. And it has 3 corners on its stem. You might be able to see that. So bringing sustenance. Think of all of those layers you have, those layers of your different personality. Maybe it is that you change your personality to suit different people. Catch yourself next time you do that and revert to your own true self. And forget me not. Do not forget who your true essence is. We have our beautiful cowslips, my mother's favourite plant, so I'm going to send the love of the mother, our woodland mother here. And we do eat these flowers as well. I used to pick them off and suck the pollen out when I was a little girl before we moved to a hot country where they didn't grow. They remind me of rabbits and fluffy bunnies and all nice things of spring, bringing that joy, that energy of springtime to you. And where would we be without our bluebells? I was lucky enough to be in the Bluebell Woods. You can go back a year and have a look at that video. And here we bring the beautiful secret places of our world. We send healing out to our world as the white bell here is changing. These are in danger of being lost and changed and hybridized. So I have picked a white one in recognition of our changing planet. Are you doing enough recycling? Are you one of these persons who says, oh, it's only me, what can I do? If we all said that, where would we be? We can all do our part. So today, this bluebell, these 2 bluebells and the white bell are going to signify responsibilities. Our responsibility to our mother, Gaia. And now to the wood sorrel, which holds the same energy as the cuckoo's pint, but is more gentle and holds smaller amounts of the toxins. It will have a cerise flower in a few weeks. So the promise of things to come, the promise of all of the beautiful things that are going to be in your life in these next 3 weeks. We've already lived 3 weeks in Beltane. And we have another 3 weeks of high, potent energies for creativeness. And I want you just to imagine this cuckoo's pint folding its leaves around you. Imagine that you are sleeping tucked up in this wonderful plant, breathing in all of its vitality, its creativeness, and those toxins that can clear out in the small quantities. I'm just going to hold up this water from the Glastonbury chalice well, and I want you just to take a sip. Get the saliva in your mouth, this is a Chinese technique, and swallow it as we send the light and the beauty of the chalice well to you. If you wish to set more intentions with a little spell, you can get yarn. This is one that I made last year on a video. And write your wishes and plait your intentions in. I will be going out on Beltane Eve to my garden, and I will be burning this because my year's wishes have now finished from last year. In fact, this was all of your wishes. This was done for you, so I will burn these, and you can set your intentions now for this coming year. So take a breath in now, and we're just going to ground you with one of these going to bring in the energy of the hawthorn and guide it all the way down you, so that you have that magic within you to get up, get outside, and get spiritual. Take a breath in and breathe down to your feet, knowing that you have set your intentions, you've had a healing, and that your energy has been wrapped up by the cuckoo's pint, who brings in the union, the creativity and the harmony for Beltane. Love and light to you all, and enjoy your spring. Bye bye.